Washington, D.C., January 17th, 2025, 2:47 a.m. It wasn't an ordinary night. I should have been asleep, but there I was, alone, in the dark, surrounded by papers and records. The silence, broken only by the distant hum of radio signals, filled the room with a suffocating tension. Ever since I first picked up that strange frequency, one thought had haunted me. What the hell is the president hiding? Harry, my investigative partner and college friend, was on the line, but even he couldn't explain it. Man, this is big, really big. I couldn't even imagine what it was, but something inside told me we were just scratching the surface of a very deep, very dark well. Since that night, I started noticing a pattern in the signals. They always came from remote regions, near properties owned by none other than Donald Trump. It was as if some form of communication was happening there, beyond the reach of conventional means. The latest transmission was especially eerie, a frequency thick with interference, almost sounding like an alien language, echoing in sinister whispers over the waves. My heart pounded just thinking about it. It felt like I'd stumbled upon a secret that no one was supposed to know. The next day I met Harry at a cafe in downtown Washington. Both of us were exhausted, but there was no time to rest. I played him the recordings and he went pale as he listened to the sounds. "Daniel, this can't be ours, not from our planet," he said, his voice barely a whisper. In that moment, I realized we were stepping into dangerous territory. Every fiber of my being was telling me to drop it, but my curiosity, and maybe a fair bit of recklessness, kept me in. As our days turned into nights, the clues began to fit together. Donald Trump secretly had made a sinister pact with a hidden alien colony. Rumor had it, these beings were exchanging advanced technology for uninhabited land, places humans wouldn't normally notice. But why? What were they planning? Each new discovery churned my stomach, filling me with both dread and excitement. This was bigger than me, bigger than any story I could have imagined. Things got dark soon enough. One night, as I was walking back to my apartment, I felt a presence behind me. I looked back but saw no one, just shadows shifting. When I got home, a black car with no plates was parked across the street. My heart raced. They knew. Somehow, someone knew what we were investigating. I took a deep breath, trying to stay calm, but the feeling of being watched wouldn't leave me. When I entered my apartment, I noticed something was off. My papers were scattered, drawers half open. There was no doubt. Someone had been here, someone who didn't want me to continue this investigation. I grabbed my phone and called Harry, but the call cut off before he could answer. It was clear now. They were monitoring us. They knew every step we were taking. After the break-in, Harry and I grew paranoid. He suggested dropping the case, but it was too late for that. The pieces of the puzzle were there. I just needed to put them in the right place. But something was bothering me. Multiple witnesses and sources began to vanish, disappearing without a trace. People who were about to talk to me, people with crucial leads. Everything vanished like smoke in the air. One particularly dark night, I received an anonymous message. It was a short, static-filled audio clip, but the voice was clear enough to send chills down my spine. "Stop now, or you'll be next." Fear gripped me, but my journalist's instinct wouldn't let me back down. After all, the more they tried to stop us, the closer I knew we were to the truth. As we delved deeper, the scenario grew stranger. Harry found classified documents mentioning the name of a secluded location near a decommissioned military base, supposedly where these technology exchanges were happening. It was as if we were in one of those conspiracy films, but with a twist. It was real. Our steps now echoed down the dark hallways of a secret that not even the government seemed to fully control. The base looked abandoned, but every step sounded as if we were awakening something. As we moved closer, Harry grabbed my arm, his eyes wide. "Did you hear that?" A metallic sound reverberated in the distance, something between the groan of a machine and a whispering voice. With a sinking feeling in my gut, I realized we weren't alone. Someone, or something, was watching us. Inside the main structure, we found dust-covered hallways and old technology. Panels still flickered a dim red, signaling the base wasn't entirely shut down. Suddenly, I heard a voice, as if it spoke directly into my mind. "You are intruders in a reserved territory." I nearly dropped the flashlight. Harry looked at me, pale, as if he'd heard the same thing. A movement to our right made us freeze. A tall, slender figure, covered in a metallic-looking skin, emerged from the shadows. Its eyes, if that's what they could be called, were a cold, emotionless blue. Harry swallowed hard, and I struggled not to scream. The alien seemed to study us, and for a moment, I felt like it knew exactly what we were thinking. "You shouldn't be here," it said without moving its lips. Not knowing what else to do, Harry and I started to back away slowly, but the creature raised a hand, stopping us with a simple gesture. The energy radiating from it was almost tangible, and I felt my head pound. "Why do you humans insist on uncovering what you shouldn't?" The voice echoed in my mind, heavy as an iron weight. I tried to speak, but fear paralyzed me. Before I could comprehend what was happening, everything around us began to shake. Strange lights pierced the ceiling like laser beams, forming complex patterns. The alien, without taking its eyes off us, was communicating with someone, something, as if using a visual language transmitted by those beams. Harry squeezed my shoulder, and I realized we were about to witness something forbidden. Suddenly, a holographic image appeared around the alien, revealing maps and graphs of mind-boggling complexity. It was like a negotiation, a secret meeting we were witnessing without permission. I saw images of desolate places, lifeless lands, territories that apparently had been promised, our lands given to them. I looked at Harry, and the horror in his eyes mirrored my own. The projection vanished, and the alien took a step toward us. "You humans don't understand the cost of progress." Its tone was disdainful, almost as if offering us one last chance to escape. But it was too late. We were at a crossroads, and turning back meant abandoning everything we'd uncovered, and more importantly, letting this dark pact go unchallenged. Suddenly, a piercing sound filled the air. It was as if an alarm had gone off, but the alien seemed unbothered. On the contrary, it watched us, calm, as if it knew exactly what was coming. Before we could react, a flash of light blinded us, and I felt my body being pulled upward, as if sucked by an invisible force. The last thing I heard was Harry shouting my name. When I woke up, I was in a cold, metallic environment, strange and unfamiliar. My head throbbed, and my wrists were bound by something that seemed both organic and metallic at once. Beside me, Harry lay unconscious. Around us, panels glowed with a bluish-gray light, displaying symbols I couldn't understand. We were on their ship, captured, and everything indicated we were about to be interrogated. A door opened, and another alien entered, taller and more imposing than the first. Its eyes burned like blue fire. It approached me, and as it attempted to communicate, I realized it was scanning my mind, absorbing my memories and thoughts. It was invasive, painful, but I couldn't resist. They were searching for something, and whatever it was seemed in grave danger. The seconds felt like an eternity as the alien sifted through my mind. I felt every memory being torn out, every piece of my life laid bare. But then, something made the alien stop abruptly. It pulled back, as if disturbed by something it had seen. Its gaze bore into me, and for a moment, I saw fear in its eyes. "You humans have no idea what you're capable of," it muttered, almost as if speaking to itself. Suddenly, it released me and made a quick gesture. My restraints unraveled, and Harry slumped beside me, still weak but conscious. "We need to leave, now." An alarm echoed through the ship, and the alien gave us one last look. "The agreement is over. Your race is too dangerous." Before we could understand what that meant, we were enveloped by a wave of energy, sucked out of the ship. I woke up next to Harry in the desert, with stars overhead and a chilling silence. I looked at him, and his face mirrored my own mix of relief and horror at what we'd just experienced. Later, back in civilization, we tried to report what we knew, but the case was buried, our accounts discredited. There was no evidence, only our memories, the weight of the unknown, and the certainty that this wouldn't be the last time our paths crossed with what lurks in the shadows of the universe.